Pace, you leave that rabbit. Pace, come. Good dog B. You leave the rabbits, good boy. Leave the rabbits. Good boy. Hey guys, there you going. This is my lovely lady. I've just taken my jacket off because she's cold. Now I'm cold. That's what you do when you love someone, isn't it? And that's what this week's talk's about. It's about our hunting and how it affects our partners. And do we get supported or do we not? And it's a funny thing, when I used to play music, I'd be up on the stage, and it's another lifetime, and I'd meet some girl that'd see me playing, and I was a single man, having a lot of fun. Probably drinking too much, probably doing everything too much, but having the time of my life. So I'd meet some girl and she'd, oh, I love your music, and they'd see me on stage, and you'd go on a date the next day, and then you start to, form some sort of, I guess, relationship. And after a while they want you to spend time with them, and you say, oh, I've got to go and play music tonight, it's what I do. And eventually they'd start to get a bit pissed off and resent it that you're always out playing music. And then you have to remind them, this is what I was doing when you first met me. We'll go down here, sweetheart, because there's a bit of wind over here. And eventually the relationship will fall to bits. And I had a lot of girlfriends like that loved the music and loved coming out the show and see me, and eventually they got pissed off because I'd be out playing music all the time. Well, the same thing applies to hunting. And if you're someone that does a lot of hunting and a lot of fishing, then I think it's really important from the very beginning, if you're getting into a relationship with someone, that you explain that it's a big part of who you are, it's what you do, and it's never going to stop. How do you feel about my hunting and fishing all the time, sweetheart?
Not too normal.
Too normal. I've never ever had a problem with Awi saying to me, you can't go fishing or you can't go hunting. She's never ever said...
I do.
Did you?
Sometimes.
Have you?
Because you are so tired or something, you injured and you shouldn't go.
That's out of love though, that's different. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there has been a few times I've had injuries and but yeah, you have, actually, it's true. I'm talking shit. But what I'm trying to say is, it's really important that your partner supports what you do on every level, and that you support them on every level. We'll go back down here, honey, because it is quite cold and it's quite windy. So we'll go inside and have a bit more talk about that in depth, because out here the audio is probably shit. And I want to talk to you about the pros and cons, some of my experiences which are quite funny, and some of the things that have turned bloody pear-shaped too. I'm going to do this whole vlog on the phone, eh? So it'll be a different sort of setting. Another thing too, nothing to do with what this talk's about, but I am going to start releasing Patreon clips from a year ago, my old catalogue, because YouTube itself is just plummeting the channel, and if it's okay with you guys, you've seen all that stuff, and it's a year old. It's a bit outdated, but it'll just help build the channel up a bit, because it is dropping quite a bit. All hunting channels are dropping, so I will be releasing that. Anyway, I'll stop yakking and we'll go inside and do some more yakking. Still warm, eh, dogs? So we're going to give Poe the back legs, and Bruno can have the rest. And all that guts is good for Bruno. Hey boy. It's yours, mate. Here it. Good boy. Right. Kill. Face up. You're fussy, Pace. Isn't he? He's only eating it because Bee's eating it. Yes, you look pretty. Thanks for the coffee. Yum. That's nice. You okay about me talking about my exes in front of you?
Yep.
Some women aren't, eh? They kind of, I don't want to hear about her. I don't mind you talking about your exes. Anyway, I'll talk about one of my good ones and one of my bad experiences, because they're both kind of funny. The girl, or the woman, she was only 19 when I met her. It was a long time ago, but the mother of my daughter Dayla, she was a vegan or vegetarian, and getting with her was the dumbest thing I could have ever done. I loved her and I wanted to make a family with her, and it just failed on every level. But it was never going to succeed because we were so different. And I totally respect her views. I really do. I respect most vegans or vegetarians. I think if they're going to stand by what they say, practicing it, then great. It's the people that actually eat meat that put us hunters down that I don't like. So, nothing against her, but the relationship was stuff from the beginning. And eventually we just sort of, it just wasn't happening. In fact, to the point that one of my cold nights in the bush when I was up the Serpentine, I had disappeared and she didn't even miss that I'd gone. And when I came home the next morning, 11 o'clock, she goes, "Where have you been? Not, are you okay?" or anything. So it was like that. But one day I brought home this pig. It was about 40 pound, really nice fat pig. And it was on the truck. And I just really wanted to show someone. I said, "Look what I've caught, we're going to eat this for the kids." And she was like, oh, you've killed a baby. It's just a baby. How could you baby murderer? And, it was doomed. And eventually she left me. And which was a good thing, because otherwise I wouldn't have met you. Hey, and it was a good thing. At the time I was devastated, it was hard for the kids, but okay, so that's the bad story. The funny story, I don't know if I've told you this one, about the time I was catching trout on the Motueka River with Anka.
Yep.
Have I told you that story?
Yep.
It's a funny story. I found out Anka was an East German girlfriend of mine who was actually managing me she was my music manager and my accountant when I was working in Europe as a entertainer. And she was bloody good value. She was as tough as they come. She'd live off the smell of an oily rag. Sometimes when we were doing the hard yards, we'd get one meal a day and she'd often go without. And she just had a lot of output. She just was so cool. She came from that part of Germany when the wall was still up. So they're a very poor family. They used to keep a pig at home. It's one of the things that everybody did was they kept a pig in their backyard because you could fatten a pig in a very small space. You didn't need a lot of room to have something. So all your food scraps would go to the pig, and then they'd butcher the pig, and they'd use every part of it. They'd use the blood, the skin, every bit they would cook, the whole lot. So she came from that era of really loving food, and she said that at Christmas time they would get a banana sent from Cuba, because they had this relationship with Cuba, East Germany did, and a banana was like a treat. And it was really embarrassing the way she used to eat bananas in public from that, because they learnt to make their bananas last for ages. So she'd put a banana in her mouth and she'd be like sucking it like an ice block like this and running her teeth on it. And it was just like, don't do that in public. Do you know what that looks like? And she like, no, what do you mean? I said, you can't eat a banana like that. You've got to make it last. This is the whole thing. And I want to also talk about the difference between you and me too in races and what's funny and how, the problems you have is having a partner who's from another country. We had a lot of, Anka and I had a lot of problems with our cultural differences, but
right.
She was great on a good level. So anyway, the funny story is, I'm yakking a bit too much here. The funny story was I was fishing on the Motueka River and I just caught a trout. I was fly fishing and I pulled it in and she was in the bank watching me and she got all excited. I said, just stay there, don't move. So I knocked it on the head because I was fishing for the pot. It was actually sea run trout, so I knocked it on the head. And as soon as I knocked it on the head, I saw a really big fat one just come up. I said, stay there. And I flicked the line out again. I caught a second one while this one was still wriggling on the bank after being knocked on the head. And I got it and I said, grab the landing net. It was a real big one. It was about 6 pounds, about this big. And she came up with the landing net and she got it in. And as soon as she got the landing net, she started rubbing up against me. What are you doing? I'm like, with this trout, she started like rubbing up against me. And she goes, no, I don't know. And I said, what are you doing? And she's got a leg on each side of my waders and she's like dry humping my waders. I said, well, what are you doing, Uncle? She says, oh, I don't know, it's making me feel strange. I said, what do you mean strange? We're fishing. And she goes, no, I'm feeling horny. And I said, why now? She says, I don't know. What it done is it triggered something in her primitive that had made her, I don't know, I've never seen it before, but every time I brought home meat or fish, I was having a good time. So you've got to find that sort of partner that endorses what you're doing, loves what you're doing, and really, really cherishes what you're doing, really. See today. So talking about if you're going to choose a partner from another country like me, and I'm not going to ask you to sing right now, by the way, okay? All I want you to do is say the words that follow next, if you know them, and if you don't know the words, just say, I don't know. I don't know. Well, you haven't heard it yet. You just have to say them. You don't have to sing it. Just say what the next line's going to be, okay? And I want to explain to you a cultural difference. Some of you will understand this, some of you won't, okay? Well, I don't know where she's leaving or where she's gonna go. I guess she's got her reasons, but I just don't wanna know. For 24 years I've been living next door to Alice
I don't know.
Alice? What comes after that?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Who the is Alice? That was what's next.
I don't
You never heard that?
No.
No, of course you haven't. And these are the sorts of things we always have with our humour, is that things you just don't know. Now, Awie's humour is totally nasty.
No.
It's totally nasty. If I fall over and hurt myself, she will piss herself laughing.
You did too.
Yeah, but not like you do, eh? She's like, oh, mate, you're funny. You just... Every time, eh? I knock myself over, or if I stumble on a word. You do, you cruel. Japanese way is like really sadistic. It's bad, eh? Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. Like I choked on a fishbone the other day. She still thinks it's funny. She thinks it's hilarious. I had to go to bloody accident emergency. I had this bone lodged down in my throat. And it was stuck there for 24 hours. And you thought it was funny. And you still... Today when we're eating fish...
Today was funny.
You had to laugh when I started choking on a bone again. She's like, you don't know how to eat fish properly. That's a Chinese accent. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do racist. It's racist, isn't it? I'm racist, yeah. That's the other problem, yeah. Not allowed to copy your accent.
Not really copying.
No, that's Chinese, eh? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I've been told off for doing that. But anyway, this is a private, in-house conversation with us. Yeah, and you take the piss out of me too, and I take the piss out of myself. So anyway, that's my spin on relationships. If you're if you're a young guy and you're going to get with a girl or a woman, I would suggest have a lot of dating before you actually move into the house. Find out. Now, she's taking it slow. We've been together now 11 years and still don't live together. Just taking really slow steps. Just finding out who I really am, eh? I think we should know by now, but hey, we'll give it another 11 years. By the time I'm about 80, we'll probably move in together. Okay, I'm going to ask Awi 2 questions. What's the pros and the cons? What's the thing she dislikes about me being a hunter, a fisher, a person that's going out there doing stuff all the time, and what she likes about it? Okay, so have a think about that. We'll start off with, what is it that you really don't like about the fact that I'm often in the scrub, going away overnight, or out at sea fishing, up rivers, on lakes, up the mountains? Is there anything that you don't like about that at all?
Yeah.
What's that? Uh-oh.
You're too dangerous and you didn't come back like normal time instead of worry.
Okay.
And also if you didn't bring doggies home or left behind,
Yeah.
even that.
That's actually worse than me not coming home. If the dogs don't come home, she's really upset. My man's a bit late, but are the dogs okay? I'll be worrying about the dog. I bet she is, eh? Absolutely. I've said it before, honey. If I got as many pets as the dogs, I'll be a happy boy. It doesn't work. Okay. That's a nice comment. That comes from compassion and caring.
Yeah, and also it's can't help but I don't like kill mum and babies.
The mother and babies, yep.
Yeah.
That's with dogs happens, yep.
Yeah, but I like meat smaller ones.
You like eating the smaller ones, yeah. Oh, we got a problem there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't like that collateral damage either. But when we're hunting on the farm for the farmer and we're getting particularly animal or pest control, we've got to kill everything. And I do kill everything. And dogs often don't know. Poe often leaves sows with babies, eh?
Yeah.
And small ones, but the other dogs just tear into it.
They're also natural for dogs and easy to catch.
It is. It happens in the wild like that too. Okay, so that's any other don't likes?
Don't likes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No.
What are the likes?
Likes.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing dogs enjoying hunting.
Yep.
And when you come home, everybody's safe.
Mm-hmm. That's the opposite to the don't like, isn't it?
Yes, but it's a happy moment.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you got something.
Yeah, that we can eat.
Yeah.
For your children. Everything that Awi feeds her kids with is what I catch, isn't it? Meat and fish. I would keep you in meat and fish just about all the time. Fair to say. Keep you pretty much. You've always got fish from me, and if it's out of season, you buy a bit of fish sometimes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the big difference, fresh. So that's the pros and cons from my partner. Well, the pros and cons for me is the thing I don't like about hunting and leaving you behind is I know you enjoy hunting and I know you enjoy being on the hill with me, but someone's got to look after things and worry the other pups or dogs. So I don't like leaving you behind. I don't like that. And yeah, the thing I love the most is coming home with something for you, particularly when I catch a really nice fish or a nice young pig that I know it's going to be really nice pork.
You like little kids and you like catch a rabbit. Look.
I do, yeah, I know. It's just like, look what I got, Mum, Mum, look. Like, yeah, I love that experience of showing you what I've caught. It really gives me a lot of real joy in my heart when I give you something. I know you appreciate it, the work goes into it. And that's one of the things that drives me to hunt is I'm going to bring food home for you and the children. I really love that. Without that, I wouldn't be driven as much as I am now. I would slow down a lot. Because I don't kill everything now unless I think I can make it into a food source for you. So that's the thing I love. I get a lot of joy from that. I get a lot of joy from cooking it for you, and I get a lot of joy feeding it to you too. So that's the main thing behind it.
Other things is like you bring home something I can make, like a liver treat or something, something a treat for dogs.
Yep. Offal. Yep.
Yeah.
Which we don't get. And I also like to give you a pig and watch you skin it and bone it out yourself too. And I love the way you work with all the fish I give you. Like I give Aoi fish and she shows me different ways she's very, very good with a filleting knife, very good at sashiming it up, like the flounder. I mean, you've even filleted bloody garfish, which are this big, they're tiny, so, it's been great. So pros and cons, yeah. All right, that wraps up this clip. Hope you enjoyed it. Be good, can't be good, be careful. See you later.